Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Sports Cage. Thanks for making some time today, whether you're out there driving around, maybe at work, on the farm, at the lake. Always appreciate you stopping in, whether it's on the app, YouTube channel through sportscage.com or on 620 CKRM. Thursdays always for Access Communications, great partner, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Your comments are always welcome. You can call in or you can text in the Prairieland Rentals text line. Prairieland Rentals at 600 Albert Street. Whether you need power tools, gardening tools, or just a big skid steer delivered, you get to deal with the owner. 936-6262 is that number. Keep it handy. You never know when there's going to be some winning to be done as well. All of our guests will join us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, and all the Greek favorites you love. And then our sports tickers are for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, Extreme Hockey and Sport, and Steelcraft Doors Regina. 3 hours for you. We know who the quarterback is for the Edmonton Elks coming in tomorrow. They finally made their decision. I'm somewhat surprised, but I actually like the move by them. We'll talk a lot about that. We're going to get Coach Mesa's comments. Also, we'll hear from Trevor Harris what he expects from the Edmonton D. How about a little Brendon LaBatte? Grey Cup winner, rider legend, all-around good guy. He's going to come in studio, have a chat today with Sharky and myself. Glen Suitor is hour 2. We're flip-flopping Glen and Arash today, so if you have a crush on either of them, you're going to have to tune in an hour earlier or an hour later. Glen Suitor's in hour 2 and Arash Madani in hour 3. We're also going to hear from Dre McCray from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So that is the show. Sharky is here, and when Sharky is here, it's for Flooring Superstore. Cash and carry. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, there's cash and carry prices can't be beat, whether it's hardwood, laminate, carpet, baseboards.
I'm going to warn you. Take your wife there. She picked the most expensive stuff. So mine did.
Okay.
Yeah. Got to go back and see Trent and the family. Work out a deal.
Yeah, I tried laying flooring once, and it was like easy laminate. And you know what? I'm so bad at all that stuff. Buddies came over, table saw. I'm like, hey, well, I'll get just pizza and beer. Let's get rocking. And they're like, hey, you do this and that, and we'll give you the easy jobs. Happened to screw it up. It's just so embarrassing. It's like, geez, I can't do any of this. Sharky. Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Passes away today. We lose Ozzy
and now
last week. Hulk. If they could just let us know a little bit of what's inside each of their bodies. Like, those guys lived hard lives. Good lives. Like, I bet you if you went to Hulk, let's be honest, like, Hulk, that's not natural, right? Hulk probably
enhanced
steroids and all that, and fine. Hey, that was his job, is to do that.
That was his living.
That.
Yep.
If you go to him, hey, Hulk, the life you lived, everything that you experienced, the fame, the fortune, and then everything you put into your body to get there and be able to do that, would you be okay at 71? Or would you want like an 85? He'd probably shave off the 14 years and say, no, I lived it good.
I would think he'd say that for sure, right? He didn't miss anything. He was in the mix all the time. Hulk never got left out of anything.
It was right? Wild. And hey, wrestling fans, let's hear from you. 936-6262. Because I was hardcore wrestling kid in the 80s. And there was no doubt about it. I have every single... the wrestlers, and now I see them on marketplaces and whatnot. I have every single one ever made in 2 suitcases, still at my mom's house. She's always like, hey, get ready. You need to take these suitcases out. And I'm like, don't worry about it. You got a big house and it's just you. I got no room in mine. But it's, the Hulk Hogan.
She's trying to clean out the basement.
The Hulk Hogan one was the first one.
It was.
And then I think my second one was possibly like Big John Studd. And then Nikolai Volkov. Like, it was so awesome. But Hulk Hogan was the man. And he didn't really have the shtick as far as face painted. He had gold trunks. Yeah. He had some boots.
He had a little bit of a costume. They all did.
He had handlebar mustache guy and blonde flowing locks. And then it was more his, hey, brother.
Yeah.
You little Hulkamaniacs. What was his line? It was that I eat your vitamins and say your prayers.
Of the things you remember, those are the two that come to mind.
Because I never had vitamins in the house, because Flintstone vitamins were deadly, but we never had them. And then say prayers, and I'm like, well,
pass on that. Yeah.
I could try. And then
I'm going to get them wrong.
I never had the Hulkamania training set.
You turned out pretty good. Don't be so hard on yourself.
I had friends that had it. And then just playing wrestlers and the ring, and then that you could buy the steel cage, and then there was a steel cage match. I still have all this stuff. Like, I still have it.
There's going to be a heck of a yard sale at Barney's house very, very soon.
Don't even talk to me about garage sales. We had them last weekend. I'm trying not to bring it. I'm trying to save it for show prep for next week. But thumb wrestlers, and then people out there remember that. And then they came out with thumb wrestlers, and the only ones I had was like Hulk Hogan, and it might have been Roddy Piper.
My favorite.
Those thumb wrestlers were so dumb. But man, we got sucked into so many things as kids when that wrestling craze of the 80s.
It was huge. It was
unreal.
It was. I would honestly say it might have been bigger than the NFL at its time.
Yeah, back then for sure.
Yeah. And
WWF.
Which you think of what it is now, the NFL is now. That's a huge thing to say that they were bigger than the NFL.
My wife today was talking about how she watched it in the 80s.
Yeah.
It had us all consumed. And then we're going to get to Ryder stuff in a bit. But here is my wrestling. This is one of the things I remember the most. Saturday night main event. And I have no idea to this day if it was just sporadic, if it was quarterly, if it was monthly. All I remember is did you guys in Regina have the shopper? It was like the Tuesday paper.
Yeah.
The little Tuesday paper that came out.
Yeah.
For some reason, that rings a bell that you could look and forecast. It came out on Tuesday, and then I would go like, this is grade 5 and 6 or whatever. I would flip to the TV guide part, or a TV guide came in it or whatever, and I would go Saturday, Dallas, Knots Landing or whatever.
That was Friday.
Saturday night main event. I'm like, there's a Saturday night main event. And then right away, I would sleep over at Ken's house, my buddy, and we would Saturday night main event at Ken's house, because my parents were super cool, but they were older. I was the afterthought, yada, yada. And we had a way better house and setup. But Ken's mom and dad didn't give a rip. So that's why the sleepovers...
They were young and cool.
Well, then, no. But they just didn't care. So it was always the best place to stay. It was Saturday night main event. Yeah, they always had peach drink from the bulk food.
Yeah.
And just a plethora of potato chips. So it was Ken's house on Saturday night main event. And then it was like wrestling. And who was going to... Like, there was some epic matches. Oh, it was so much fun. And I just remember being such a wrestling nerd. Terry Funk, Don Morocco, King Kong Bundy, Paul Orndorff. Did he have some battles? Hercules Hernandez, Big Boss Man.
Are you reading all those, or did you have all that memorized?
I wrote down some of these big matches that Hulk had. Remember Piper's Pit?
No.
Roddy Piper would have his Piper's Pit on Saturday, and he would like do the interviews and all that.
I met him.
Did you?
Yes.
Give us more.
Well, they did a show in Regina back in the Agrodome days. Yeah. This would be in the 80s. And the boys all came out to Checkers afterwards where I was bartending. And Roddy Piper sat at the end of the bar and just kept ordering beers all night long. And we had a couple of great chats, and he was a very cool dude. Not as big as you would have thought. Mm-hmm. Still a big man, but like not as big as I would have thought. But yeah, he was. And I can't even tell you who the rest were there because Checkers was always packed. But yeah, Roddy Piper sat at the end of the bar and ordered beers all night.
Share your WWE Hulk Hogan stories, 936-6262. The other thing, Terry Bollea was his real name. I also remember he was Thunderlips in Rocky.
What?
Rocky Coulson, fact check that. You got it. Wasn't his name Thunderlips? It was Rocky 2 or Rocky 3? And Rocky, come on. Rocky fought the wrestler, and it was supposed to be an exhibition, and then it wasn't. Thunderlips.
Thunderlips in Rocky 3.
Yes, Rocky 3. Is that the Mr. T one? It's the beginning of the Mr. T one, isn't it?
It is. Look at that.
How don't you remember that?
I did not know this.
Well, I'm glad.
Rocky 3, 1982.
Thunderlips.
You know what? I don't think I saw anything after the first Rocky.
The first one's so boring compared to the other ones. The Russian, that's
It better rain all weekend coming up because I need to
Cinematography.
stay at home and watch Rocky.
Cinematography at its best.
Don't say that. I don't need another delayed football game.
Was that hard on you?
It was hard on a lot of people.
It was hard on a lot of people. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Ryan and Swift Current shedding a tear listening to the Hulk convo. Saturday night's main event versus Nikolai Volkov during the Cold War was massive. It's just, okay, someone build a damn time machine already, please. I just want to go, and then Hostess potato chips. They used to have wrestling stickers in there. This is. I'm going deep here. I can't believe.
Are you ever?
I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this today. Hostess potato chips, and there was wrestling stickers. They had a run. It was a promo that they had for the year, and this is smoky bacon, which was the worst chips for some reason. Somehow at the Hostess plant, it got stuck. So smoky bacon always had like 5 stickers in it.
Really?
We figured this out. This is how we rolled in Riversdale and Saskatoon. We figured out the chips that had the most stickers. And now look at what we're all doing.
Did you keep the stickers?
I do have them at my mom's somewhere. I have all this wrestling stuff in boxes.
The WWF Wrestling Museum to open in North Regina later this summer.
Dan in Regina loved 80s wrestling. Couldn't get the pay-per-views. But a few months later, I would bike to the local Acme Video or Video City and rent the VHS. Yes. Dan, remember renting the one WrestleMania where there was it was the tournament. They had a tournament.
Yes.
And the British Bulldogs, I think one of the British Bulldogs got thrown over the top of the rope. I don't know. It was like super quick. No, it wasn't a cage. Okay. It was a tournament. They had a tournament. Then there was what was it when everyone was in the ring? What was that called? It was Battle Royal?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Hulk Hogan dead at 71.
Look at you with your sticker collection.
There it is. If you're watching the stream.
Holy smokes.
There are the honky tonk man. What a weapon. Ted DiBiase. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That's a good bit. I loved Macho Man Randy Savage.
Junkyard Dog.
Elizabeth was a rocket.
Yeah.
Killer Khan. Don't remember him. Bobby the Brain Heenan. That guy was awesome. Billy Jack Haynes. That guy definitely, he was working an 8 to 5 and wrestling. There was those 5-cent commons. Yeah. Bam Bam Bigelow. What a costume. Oh, this is great. I don't know. We got to get to Riders Talk, but this is just amazing, amazing stuff. And the text messages are coming in on the Prairie Line Rentals text line, so we'll get to them in a bit.
Stories.
All right. Let's go to Riders first. Noah Zaire going to start on the O-line. Zach Fry is out. That's the first thing. But everyone's talking about the Elks starting quarterback will be Cody Fajardo.
Not surprised. Not at all.
I'm not.
Trey Ford doesn't have any numbers.
I like the play by them. I think here's another question. Rattle them in too. What do you think out there, Sports Cage listeners? What kind of welcome is he going to get?
Muted.
I think
he's been gone long enough.
I think Rider fans will give him a nice welcome.
There'll be a golf clap.
I will.
That's it.
He didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. What did he? He didn't do anything awful to us.
No.
He
wasn't
us
bad
with
to
a
us.
bag of But
we just moved on. Yeah.
I think he'll be okay. But here's some audio today, and let's hear Coach Mace on the Elks starting quarterback and if he cares.
I mean, we always care, no doubt. It just kind of narrows the focus a little bit. Another night of preparation for the guys to narrow in. That being said, you still could see both. They've done it throughout the season as well. So, but yeah, just how the calls are going to look versus a certain quarterback. We've watched throughout the week, no doubt, but. Again, you were preparing for both, but certainly, a little heavier emphasis now on Cody. So just another opportunity for the guys to just dig a little bit deeper in their preparation.
They would have been preparing for both.
Yeah.
And they'll be I think I hate being I think that Trey Ford would have given the Elks a better chance to win? Because he runs around, does the schoolyard thing, scrambles around, and just throws it. That might be their only hope. Cody, that maybe I'm wrong.
Trey Ford takes them out of the play and creates a play, if you will, or creates something by running around. But that's not a recipe for success.
No, but you're just trying to win one game.
Well, yeah, but
Just try and win one.
But if they don't, now where are they? Right? Like they're even further in the rhubarb. They've got at least.
Well, but to that point though, you're kind of bailing on your light quotation marks here franchise.
You think Trey Ford's the franchise?
Well, Fajardo definitely isn't.
No, I don't disagree with you on that, but I would say that if they're putting the franchise on Trey Ford, that's a mistake. I don't think he's capable of being that guy.
If you rewind it 3-4 months ago, everyone was like, "Oh, Trey's gonna."
I was never that guy.
Okay, maybe it wasn't you.
No.
And it's like, Mark killed him.
Suitor.
And it's going to be unreal. And Trey Ford. It really?
No.
Really?
He's never going to be good.
He can win football games for you. He's athletic. He can scramble around, basically run around with his head cut off, make some passes. But sustainable offense?
No.
That's where I was on Vernon Adams a bit, but Vernon's totally proven me wrong. And
Vernon Adams has learned to be a quarterback. He's learned to play the position, not just run around.
Allegedly.
They're 5-1.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It looks good now.
Yeah.
I need to. And now my brain is saying, okay, let's see him in October.
We're not going to see Trey Ford in October.
VA.
Okay.
Trey Ford, we might see him in October.
Hey, he might be
playing in a men's league.
Yeah, he might be working at Tip Top for all we know.
I'm curious now. I think Fajardo. I think the Riders will own him. I think the Riders would have had more trouble with Trey Ford. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't disagree that they might have had more trouble with Trey Ford, but I say Edmonton has a better chance for success with a quarterback that can make reads and throw the ball.
Now they got a big matzo ball hanging there because it's like, well, you guys kind of gave up on Trey Ford, didn't you? We didn't play him. Coach Mace, on if he was caught off guard about the announcement on Fajardo.
I mean, until anything's official, you don't know. Trey's been their guy, so we prepared for it as if there's potential to see both, looking outside in. Could there have been a potential going through a bye week and self-scout? No doubt. That's why we kind of put a heavier emphasis on both guys. But, ultimately, you don't want to just kind of go into it in those kind of situations, just pushing all your eggs, in the one basket. And then get kind of caught with your pants down come game day. So we did a good job, I think, preparing these guys to see both cats. And then obviously you get it solidified today. You can just do a deeper dive.
Every day, Coach Mace gives us something to chuckle about.
He does.
Dog.
He's
and then today
he's got good quotes.
And we're just immature because as soon as you say getting caught with your pants down, all three of us in this room laughed. We're so immature. We are. Let's
like
just
a bunch
watch
of 7-year-olds in here.
Let's go get some smoky bacon chips and watch some wrestling. Old school. We're going to hear more from Coach Mace, more from Trevor Harris as we go along here today. Lots to get to.
Day.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Brendon LaBatte going to be in studio. So if you're watching the stream, you're going to see him. We're streaming at sportscage.com. If you can't, don't worry. You got us covered on 620 CKRM. For Access Communications, welcome back to Sports Cage on Thursday. Sharky is with me. Colson's in the pocket. Like I said, as we threw to break, we got former rider, Grey Cup winner in studio with us. Brendon LaBatte is joining us. Thanks for making some time. You're in, dropping off the kids doing a little twirl at the rink.
Yep. Had a little time to kill, just got him dropped off, so I decided I'd slide over and finally get on the show.
That's right. We met at Country Thunder, what was it, a couple weeks ago, having a pint, so that was great. Okay, so let's go into the wreck as you're racing cars from a couple weeks ago. I think a lot of people held their breath. The rollover, it was in Estevan on the dirt track. Take us through what happened there. Obviously, you're okay. Everyone was worried.
Yeah, it was a wild ride. They got a bunch of rain, and actually we rained out in Minot the night before, so I think we're really trying to push. It's a big tour. Cars come from all over the U.S. to be on this tour, and after it rained out, they got that inch of rain in the morning. They were disking it, blading it, trying to do as best they could to get us a surface to race on, and it was a ton of traction out there. And for the first time in 24 years, I went over, and it happened so fast I didn't even have a chance to save it. It was we were running third, thought I had a good enough car to be up front, so we were driving it hard on the second time around, and it went up, bicycled onto the 2 right side tires. I hit a little rut, and it was gone before I even knew what happened.
Yike!
Yeah, for 3.5 rolls, and finished up on the roof. And that was the worst part, is smelling gas and being upside down and not knowing, do I pull the belts and start trying to shimmy out, and then you risk the car being unstable and possibly pinching you. So I just was yelling at the track officials, just, I'm fine, just get me back on my wheels, flip me over. And once they said that they had the fire truck there with all the rescue equipment and stuff so that it wouldn't just go up in flames, I kind of settled down a little bit and started undoing the gear and waited to get tipped over.
What's Mama Bear and the kids?
Well, I think they thought I was definitely going to get out, but my youngest daughter, she was pretty upset about it. She came over crying, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm all right. Don't worry about it. And she, but your car's wrecked. And I was like, well, that's not a big deal.
We can get another one.
Yeah.
We can get another one. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
How big is that Estevan track? Like what kind of
3/8 mile on dirt clay. So that's normally what we run on, anywhere from 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile tracks all around the U.S. is kind of the normal routine for us.
Now, when you talk about the circuit, how many tracks are you going on? How many drivers? How many cars?
So this deal was it's 6 tracks and 6 nights is what it's supposed to be. And you start in Jamestown to Minot to Estevan to Williston to Dickinson and then over to Mandan. And that was the intended, and weather didn't quite cooperate. And then this year we were pulling about 45 stock cars every night, and the modifieds were in the mid-60s. So there's over 100 cars there every night, and you're competing to be in the top 24 will make the feature race for that evening. So pressure's on, and that's why you got to drive as hard as you do to try and make it into the show.
6 shows, 6 nights, back to back to back to back.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grind in the heat of the summer there. So that's
well, not to mention what it does to your vehicles, right? To the cars.
Yeah. Well, that's
like
why.
Once you flip it upside down, you're pretty much out for the next race, right?
Yeah, I ended up missing a night just because. I mean, that car probably could have been salvaged, but it just took us a day. We had a brand new backup that we had just built over the winter, and so we ended up transferring everything over to it, and it takes a while to get it all set up just the way you want it, and then we caught back up in Dickinson.
So in any racing sport, we got to thank the sponsors. So obviously, if you're running two cars, you got a ton of sponsors that support you on this.
Not a ton. We do a lot of it ourselves. So my brother builds all the cars. Dad does all the engine work for us. We got an engine dyno, and then I do all the shock and suspension work. So Penske Shocks has been big for us. They've really helped us out in the last couple of years. And then ADI Hunts, who I work for up north, and we do a bunch of outpost fishing and hunting trips. So they've come on board and really helping us out. And then Southside Auto Wreckers has been with me since I started 24 years ago. And there's not a whole lot of stock parts that we really use on these cars anymore, but anything that we do need, they're always there to help us out.
Former rider Brendon LaBatte is joining us in studio, and Sharky is just, it's like you're talking to, it'd be like me talking to Tom Brady. This guy, you're talking stock cars,
football,
and you get to talk hunting
and fishing.
Well, because you're big in the hunting game.
Yeah, I do a lot of hunting myself personally, and then since I retired from football and got out of that game, I've been big game guiding up north. So we're based out of Mississippi, and then in the fall we'll fly out, and we're anywhere from probably 80 to 150 miles away north of Mississippi on the float plains. We'll land, and then we go on 10-day moose hunt, and then we'll come back, grab another set of hunters, and go out for another 10 days. So I'll spend 3 weeks up north for that, and then in the spring we do spring black bear hunts as well.
I could talk to you for hours, let alone minutes. But on the hunting part, when you talk about those, do you pre-scout those lakes? Like, how do you figure out where's your spots to go, or do you have some that you've already zones?
Our company, Adventure Destinations, we own 5 different outposts that have cabins and everything. All the equipment's already there with our boats and everything. So we use those, and then we'll determine which ones. So actually, at the start of September here, me and the other guy that I guide with get to go up, and we kind of scout it out and see what's looking the most promising, and then we'll make the plans from there. And we start September 20th till the 30th, and then we'll go out, come back for that day or two, and then from the 1st to the 10th of October as well. So
I mean, like, what do I got to do? Like, where do I sign up?
Well, we actually have 1 spot left. We had a cancellation, so if you want in,
whatever help you need. I'm a good hand in all of this, right? I can skin, I can do whatever. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Sharky, this is
The best day, the best show we've ever had, Barney.
yeah. Okay, let's talk some football here. Riders, Elks tomorrow. Another great start for the green and white. When you're watching the games, what are you seeing about this team, and especially maybe more so the coaching staff the last 2 years? Doesn't it seem like they're galvanizing? It's like a real team. What you guys used to have?
It looks that way. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot, but I think Coach Mace has done a really good job. I think he's just got an enthusiasm and a confidence about him that just radiates through the rest of the guys. And I like what they're doing up front. I think they have a really solid crew, and I think Furlan's a great player, so he's been huge. And like it always is in the CFL, I think it's whoever can be healthy and down the stretch. As long as you can avoid those big major injuries and not having anybody have to sit out any extended period of time, I think you stand a good chance. But I think there is something to be said for the experience of some of the other teams around the league too. That makes them always tough. You kind of see Winnipeg slumping a little bit, but you can never really count them out.
The offensive line, and last year they, a rash of injuries, and then this year again, and we got Noah Zare going in, Zach Fry out this week. Back in the day, maybe there wasn't as much social media, not that you played that long ago, but did you guys have like the rash of offensive line injuries that they're seeing over here the last 2 years? Do you remember?
Not when we were having really successful seasons, I don't think. I think back to 13, 14, and we're always had that same core nucleus in that and was able to dress for a lot of games. And that's a lot of it up there is just having that unspoken trust, and you don't always have a chance to communicate, but you just have that built-in bond of where you kind of know how you're going to function with the guys beside you. So that's something that only reps and time is going to build. So, I mean, as long as they've been working together, and I mean, I think Furlan in the middle really helps out. I think it starts with a good center, so having him getting everybody on the same page is big.
When you go back to your time in the CFL, who's a guy, maybe it was a player, maybe it was who's a guy that really you learned the most from?
Oh, Bob Wiley. My rookie year when I had Wiley out in Winnipeg, I mean, he kind of took me under his wing and treated me like a son, and it just built up the confidence, even when I would get beat or I'd, get laid out or anything like that, he'd kind of always have a chuckle about it. It was never like you had to be worried about getting yelled at or losing your job or anything. He knew that it was going to be, it was going to take a while to kind of build up and develop, and he was in for it the whole time. So right out of the gate, I was so blessed to have Bob Wiley as an O-line coach.
As you look, I don't know how closely you're following the league this year, how much you're on top of it, based on the fact you're rolling upside down half the time, wandering around Estevan. But as you look at the league this year, the Riders clearly out in front at 5-1.
Well, Calgary wants to say something about that.
I'm not worried about Calgary yet. But do you really see Winnipeg or BC catching up, or are they really got themselves in trouble?
I think Winnipeg just has so many proven guys that, it's tough to show up for 18 games straight. So, they're going to have their ups and downs, and I just would never count those guys out, until they prove that they've lost a step in October, November. I still think that they got it up their sleeve.
They're in the mix, yeah.
Absolutely. I just don't think you can go against a team like that.
Do you keep in touch with a lot of guys, especially like the guys from the 13 team?
Yeah, I was actually just on the fishing trip with Neil Hughes over the last weekend. We were up at Twin Falls catching walleye and pike, so I got to hang out and have a few beers with him. And I like to stay in touch with a few of the guys.
We get to talk to Darian every Monday here on the show, and then he's just still he wants, you can just tell he wants to be a coach, wants to be a manager. Like, he just has that brain. When you go back, him as a leader, what do you remember about him?
He just, every single guy in the locker room was important to him. Like, he was never, when you're a superstar like that, and he never really came off as that. He'd talk to the practice roster guy and joke with him the same as he would as the O-line, and there wasn't a group in the room that doubles didn't have a good rapport with. So I think that he's one of the best leaders. But the thing that I always thought about when I was in Winnipeg is the guy was a cheat code. We had Joe Lobendon, who was jacking up Wes Cates in the A-gap, and then all of a sudden he comes through untouched and double shakes him off like nothing. Just the natural strength that he had in his lower body and what he was physically able to do, I think really allowed him to have everybody else buy in and believe in him because he was just so physically dominant when you compare him, what his skill set and toolbox was compared to other quarterbacks at that time.
First off, this is an amazing conversation. I could do this all day long. Football, NASCAR.
We haven't even got into Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, we haven't got to Hulk Hogan yet. When you go back to 13 and even before that, when you're in Winnipeg and you make that transformation to the Riders, right? Was it a hometown thing that you wanted to do? Was it what caused the move from? Because you were an all-star in Winnipeg. You were doing great there, right? There was no reason to leave Winnipeg. What made the move happen?
Definitely seeing what they had going on here. They had been to the Grey Cup there in 9 and 10, and then 11 was kind of our year, but we weren't really committed to long-term success. I didn't feel like out there when it came to negotiations and seeing Joe Mack's plan at that time. So to know what they had going on here with Jim Hobson and Brennan Taman, that was as soon as I could get back, that was what I was looking to do. So it made it easy. And then as soon as BT went out and was able to get Dominic Picard, who I was a teammate with in Winnipeg before he went over to Toronto, it just everything started to line up, and it was a no-brainer to come back.
So you enjoyed playing with that cranky Frenchman beside you?
I loved it. I loved it. I mean, sometimes I always thought he was getting the D linemen so fired up at him based on the way that he played that when they were lined up against me, they didn't hit me with their best stuff. They were saving it for him. So, but day in, day out, for the way he prepared and how much it meant to him, it was just awesome to be around. And he kind of elevated everybody around him and held everybody to that standard. And he was really good at keeping guys accountable.
Nice.
When you were a kid and you were playing just for the love of the game, and I don't know if it was 9 aside or what you played back then, but when you go back to those times and was there a time that you were like, hey, I'm gonna play football when I'm older, and you get to university and all that, or what do you go back? What was the thought process? Because a lot of times the guys wanted to play hockey or guys wanted to do something else. What was it for you?
And that was me all growing up. I was hockey, baseball, and we took our baseball pretty serious down in Weyburn. And then I played my grade 12 final game when we lost, and I never even thought about playing football again. And then Frank McChrystal reached out to me. It would have been towards the end of February, and he's like, you want to come to the U of R and play with the Rams? And at that point, I had 3 junior teams that were interested in wanting me to go out and play, and then Frank was the only university team that had reached out. So, yeah, sure, I'll come. Well, what do you want to take? And I was like, maybe I'll do education. He's like, well, you got to have this big, long essay typed up by March 1st or something. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen. So we'll just, the first year, just go in. And he redshirted me, and it turned out to be great. And that's kind of when it clicked that, if I can just keep doing what the coaches are asking and show up and give it my all, that maybe I can play this game a little longer than just college.
The players that guy, had come through that program, even from junior into CIS, and he's gotten the recognition, and just an amazing. We had him on the show last year. Amazing mind for the game. Yeah, he was a great leader of young men. That's what I always thought. As I look back and I reflect on it a little bit now, I mean, he was always, we want to make you a good football player, but we want to make you a better person. So that was always kind of the ultimate goal of that program. And I mean, I thought he just had a way of bringing guys in. If you needed help, he was willing to help. If you needed discipline, he'd discipline, So I thought, looking back, that was one of the things that we did. You can almost be most proud of is there's so many things that are trying to steer you off track, and Frank was able to keep guys on track and focused on the goal.
And there's more things to steer them off track now than ever before, without a doubt. Yeah. I can't imagine you being a junior hockey player. Like, we played hockey for a long time, but I didn't want to line up against you on the left wing. No.
I wish I would have been in the talks of playing junior. I fizzled out pretty early. I mean, I played my 14 years, and I played all the way through U18 or midget, but that was it. There was definitely an end of the line, and I didn't have the foot speed or I was probably 60 pounds too heavy to have any sort of wheels on skates. So,
do you still play in the Rider winter games that they have, or the hockey games that they have?
Every once in a while I coach. So I coached my kid last year. So I'm on the Blades more in the last few years than I was for probably the 10 previous than that. And I remember playing in a few of the Rider games, and it was awesome. The very first, actually in 2012 when I first signed, back here. And shortly after that, I ended up meeting the majority of the teammates on the bus at the North Gate, and we were going out to Raymore. And that was probably one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. I mean, they're packed 5-6 deep in the standing room only. And here I am, just a house league hockey player, dreamer, and getting to have the full, I mean, go out, and then after the warm-ups, you get the flood and everything. And that was big time. So I felt like that old school Molson Canadian commercial where they bring in all the fans and the Stanley Cup and stuff for those bush leaguers or beer leaguers. That's what it was to me.
That's pretty cool.
No bucket in warm-up.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
This is big time. Back in the day when you guys did that, who was the best hockey player on the Riders? Was it Getzlaff?
Yeah, Getty was pretty good.
Because Lawther's good now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Beggar was pretty good too.
Oh, Beggar.
Yeah, Rob Begg was good. And Dressler, I liked that he wasn't good because it was about the only thing that he wasn't I ever seen that he wasn't good. I mean, you could go and play ping pong against him, and he was just naturally good at everything. So to see him actually kind of ride the ankles for a little bit was kind of a nice feeling. He is human after all.
Darian talks about Begg as one of the hardest working players he ever played with. Like, he just was nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. His preparation, gym work, he was so intense in everything he did, that he was, and it showed. I mean, look at the guy's physique. He was an absolute specimen. So, I mean, he's one of them guys. And same with John Chick. And Chicky was another guy that was just an absolute animal.
And he's still
24/7.
See him on Instagram. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, there's no slowing down with them guys. They're thoroughbreds. They're meant to run.
What your boy's going into U13 hockey? Any football for him?
Hasn't. I mean, we'll play catch with it, but it's really not even on his radar. No. I've offered to get him out there, and we'll go play some minor football and stuff, but it's just not something he's interested in. He likes his golf and his hockey right now. Any memories of Hulk Hogan? Against Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. I was young, but I remember watching that over and over and over. And then that was when you had to go to the video store to actually rent it afterwards, and that would always be the one I'd go and rent.
Was it Weyburn? Did they have their own video store, or was it a confectionery that rented videos?
No, we had a couple.
Oh yeah,
had a couple. Sweet. Just straight video stores. Weyburn Video.
I know you got to get to the rink because your boy's skating. Thanks so much for popping in and doing this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Very cool.
And
Thanks,
then what's the name of the company? Adventure Destinations.
Adventure Destinations. So you can check us out online and see everything we have to offer.
I've been there.
Yeah,
I know exactly where it is.
Yeah,
I know all the details.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. So we got a lot to offer up there. We got those 5 outpost camps. We got one camp that's more or less an all-inclusive where you can just drive right into Mississippi and do it any way you want. You want a guide, you want to do it yourself, however.
What's the furthest one? Furthest outpost?
Furthest outpost right now would be at Bill's Lake. Yep.
Bill's Lake, and that's one of the Grayling, right?
Yep.
We got to talk. I got to get there. I haven't caught one of those things. I got to make that happen.
Yeah, I want to go bear hunting in the spring. We talked about bait at Country Thunder. My dad used to sell bait to. Anyways, long story. Brendon LaBatte, former rider, joining us in studio. It is the Sports Cage. We are streaming at thesportscage.com. Noah's there. We'll start for the Riders on the O-line. Zach Fry is out, and the Elks have announced that Cody Fajardo will be their starting quarterback tomorrow, 7 p.m. kickoff at Mosaic Stadium. Things start here with the Rider Network at 4 p.m. Canadian Football League Week 8 starts tonight. The Montreal Alouettes with McLeod, Bethel, Thompson in Calgary against the Stampeders. We're going to talk gambling on that one in a bit here. 5 former members of Canada's 2018 World Junior Hockey Team were acquitted of all charges today in a closely watched sexual assault trial. Michael McLeod, Alex Formerton, Carter Hart, Dylan Dubé, and Cal Foote were all charged with sexual assault in connection with an incident in London, Ontario back in 2018. Justice Maria Carasona of the Ontario Court of Queen's Justice said that did not find evidence of the witness to be credible or reliable. Western Canadian Baseball League, Red Sox, Lethbridge, 7 p.m. tonight, Swift Currents in Saskatoon, Medicine Hats in Moose Jaw, and Provincial Senior Golf at the Chinook in Swift Current. Regina's Kim Walker leads on the women's side, and Rick Hallberg and Brad Phelps are battling out on the men's side. Oh, and the Toronto Blue Jays. Tonight, they took 2 or 3 from the Yankees, start a series with Detroit. Don't forget to sign up for Sports Cage Insider Riderville news, all that. You got a chance to win tickets as well. That sports ticker is for Reliance Heathwater Heater Rentals, keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. So are you like already looking up different areas of...
No, I'm on the gambling sites right now. Yeah. I know that site well, Adventure Destinations. I know what they do and where they go, and they get a lot of great spots. And
Calgary's a 7-point favorite tonight.
I got 6.5.
I think it... trap game? Can we use that term?
I don't think so.
Overused this week on when it comes to the Riders and Elks, and then maybe for the Stamps as well. You don't think so?
No.
Over under 49.5. I don't know if I've seen an over under at 49.5 in the CFL this year or in a long time. Anyway.
I saw 48 a while back, but
you?
yeah.
See the rest of
what
them.
do you think on that? Taking over?
The Elks, but probably because McLeod Bethel Thompson slinging it, and they don't expect much from him. But that's where I always maybe like to sprinkle on the dog. And I don't think road matters as like how many people are going to be in the stands in Calgary tonight, and on like how many actual warm bodies in the stands in Calgary tonight.
15
ish. Yeah. I don't. It's a Thursday, I guess. 50K. So like home field isn't that big of a deal. I might take the Alouettes to cover 6.5. If I could get them at 7, I might take it, and I like the over. Just me.
You know, I followed you before, and it's worked out poorly. So I'm going to maybe go the other way.
Yeah, go nuts.
Yeah.
Sharky is here, and his humor, wit, and fun for Flooring Superstore, Trent Dickin and his team, over 20 years in business. The cash and carry we talked about. Also, he wants us to mention that when you have any kind of insurance claim,
go see him.
You don't have to go to where your contractor tells you.
That's
you can
crap.
go get some action going with the local company, Flooring Superstore.
Their selection's huge.
It is.
It's nuts.
Hour 2 will start with a little Glen Suitor coming up. SportsCage, streaming at sportscage.com and on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM. I don't know how to answer that. Welcome back to the SportsCage.
On the wall.
Hour 2.
On the
Sharky
wall.
now, after our if you didn't hear the interview with Brendon LaBatte, you can go back and listen to it in podcast form. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
So much more than football. Now, Sharky's been watching bear hunting videos. Is that from Adventure's Destination
that's
site?
Adventure Destinations, yeah.
So Sharky now will be tuned out for the rest of the show as he's watching that. Coulson's also in the pocket today. And it's Sharky is always for Flooring Superstores when
Look
he's
at that
here.
walleye. Holy smokes.
Just had a text come in here with the death of Hulk Hogan at 71 today. The other day, Ozzy Osbourne. And then it was from the, whatchamacallit, Cosby Show.
Yep. Jamal Malcolm Warner. Theo,
both correct. The post says, be nice to 80s kids. We've had a hard week. With the 3 passing away. I forgot about Theo from the Cosby Show. Yeah. And let's be honest, if there's some people driving around right now or listening, and you remember that show, and the episode of the Cosby Show that you remember was the Gordon Gartrell, when he gets his sister to make him the shirt because they can't afford Bill or Theo, or the dad was Clifford. And he's like, we're not paying for that shirt. Your sister can make you one. And it is just butchered. The Gordon Gartrell. And then, Ozzy. Were you a big Ozzy fan?
You know, I wasn't a fan in that I followed Ozzy or that I listened to all the... But when I hear all the songs, I'm like, oh, I like that one. Oh, I like that one. Yeah. Right? So...
Crazy Train.
Yeah, without a doubt. So there was a lot of great Ozzy songs, like Mama, I'm Coming Home, right? So...
No More Tears. I liked that one for some reason, but... And then Hulk Hogan. Today, 71 years old.
Quite a week.
A tough one. And all of his matches, the Saturday night's main event. I found a site that had his greatest, or what they thought were his best matches of all time. And the number 1 was Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, WrestleMania 18.
What's the date on that? 2010?
2010. See, I was way out.
You were matured then? You were out of the...
I was married, for sure, so I wasn't really into wrestling. And then the one that I remember is when he slams Andre the Giant at the Silverdome, Pontiac Silverdome, WrestleMania, they all came in on these carts. That one was huge. And then there was a cage match when I was flipping through this that I also, Paul Orndorff. He had a real battle with Paul Orndorff.
Yeah.
Paul Orndorff was an interesting looking fellow.
A villain.
The Big Boss Man steel cage match, 1989. Yeah, the Hulkster. We lose him at 71. Hulk versus Terrible Terry Funk. Seriously?
And I would call that sports entertainment, if you will, or athletic. I don't know if athletic entertainment's the right term. It's entertainment without a doubt. But I don't think that WWF will be challenged by WWE from a sheer following standpoint, size of events. It'd be a long time for them to catch up to what they were back in the 80s and 90s.
See, I think it's crazy now. I like.
You think it's different crazy?
Alan, who sometimes steps in and produces here, he's a big wrestling fan. He'd want to debate this. And Maz is a grown man, but really loves still wrestling.
Really?
He would love to debate this too. I can't get into it at all.
Neither can I. Followed all those guys back in the day, but can't get into it now.
Sad we
Maybe
eat
immature.
your vitamins and say your prayers. I can't believe you guys don't remember him as Thunderlips and Rocky though.
No, I missed the whole Rocky thing. Yeah.
All right. Let's continue the Hulk Hogan chat maybe with our friend Glen Suitor.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Rough Rider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
It just dawned on me, Glenn, that you are doing the game with Dustin Nielsen tonight in Calgary, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and Dusty likes to be sneaky and drop in when it was the Stampede Bowl and country music references. So let's challenge Dusty and how many Hulk Hogan references on tonight's broadcast he can drop in. Were you a wrestling guy in the 80s? You're busy winning Grey Cups, but did you watch it?
Yeah, no, I really didn't. I know it was very popular though, because I used to have many discussions with people who would come across the restaurant and say, I'm not really a fan of the CFL, but I do love wrestling. And I go, that wrestling, as athletic as they are, it's predetermined. Like you don't have to sit on the edge of your seat. Someone's already decided who's going to win that, right? And I used to get frustrated with that, but hey Sharky, I can't believe you don't know the Rocky reference there, because that episode made the show. I mean, Rocky is now he's a champion, and he's reading the headlines, and he's got all this luxurious cars and house and all that, and he wants to do this exhibition match with Thunderlip, and who was Hulk Hogan, and they start throwing each other around the ring, and that's when I knew that even though it's a movie, and my wife had to keep reminding me, Glenn, it's just a movie, but Rocky is picking up this huge wrestler over his head and throws him out of the ring. Now, there weren't not enough special effects for that to happen without him actually picking him up and throwing him out of the ring.
Yeah. At that time,
Yeah, it was quite the scene, and a big part of the movie, because it started to get Rocky back into the I could get my butt kicked out here if I don't be careful. Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna go home tonight, watch Rocky 3. Yeah,
and then
it's got to be out there somewhere. I can find it.
We won't let you know. We won't ruin it. But actually, the Mr. T at the end, you might Clubber Lang. That was.
I remember that Clubber Lang part. Yeah,
Clubber Lang and Mickey get into a little bit of a dust up in the hallway. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, I got a big night ahead of me. Big night.
Well, more
importantly,
you could watch it after the football game.
Yeah, Glenn, let's go fishing and hunting with Brendon LaBatte.
We just had him on.
Oh, buddy, I heard you guys talking about it just before I jumped on. I was doing my prep for the game tonight, and I'm going to go back and listen to the podcast because I want to hear what was said throughout that. Yeah. I just, that long weekend I had where I had the one Thursday game this past weekend.
Yep.
I finally got out in front of Vancouver, just around UBC in that area, and caught a couple of coho salmon and unfortunately they weren't. They were the what do they call them? Not the natural salmon, but they weren't
Farmed?
the farm salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only keep the farmed one. You can't keep the wild salmon, so we had to throw them back. But still, a wonderful day of fishing. So I'm in. If you guys want to go fishing, I am absolutely in. Fly fishing, trolling, jigging, I don't care. Let's do it.
I'm in Euclid in August 19th. See you there. Yeah, we're going out for tuna.
So yeah, you're going out tuna. So you're going to be jigging probably.
No, trolling.
You're trolling. I was thinking of the bottom fish.
Halibut.
The big halibut. Yeah, those big halibut. You're jigging for those. But yeah, for tuna, you'll be out trolling, and again, beautiful area. Beautiful.
You guys can go fishing. You just let me know what the nearest golf course is, and then I want to come and hang out with that bear. I want to see the bear that hangs out in front of your house. Don't want to hunt it.
Yeah, how's the bear?
Barney, we have a new sighting. Okay, so...
Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. We should have some sort of breaking news thing here.
Well, I just got a text this morning, actually, from my wife that said, could you please check the outside live camera? Because I looked out the window. I was about to take our dog, Maximus, out for a walk, and I looked out the window, and there is a massive dump right in front of our door. And she goes, I want to know if the bear is still out front because it looks brand new, which I'm sorry, if you're having lunch right now and you're listening in, I apologize for the visual. But it's a bear sighting, and apparently my recordings on the outside camera haven't kicked in yet, so I haven't been able to see it. But as soon as I see it, I'll send it to Colson and we'll get it on the air because apparently he was right at our front door and just did his business right there.
That happens in Regina a lot, but it's not bears.
Not a bear.
Just check out Just Bins, and you will see what we're talking about. Tonight, Elks are in Regina tomorrow, and they have named a starting quarterback with Cody Fajardo starting tomorrow. Is that what you thought, Glenn? Did you or were you leaning more towards Trey? I can't remember when we talked about it on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's what I thought would happen, but I don't know that it's the right thing. And it's not a shot at Cody. Again, we talked about on Tuesday just sort of the analogy of baseball that you have your ace pitcher, and if he doesn't have his best stuff, you go to your reliever right away, and the ace pitcher is back the next night. And maybe he'll be better that night. But it doesn't change the pecking order. And if they truly in Edmonton believe in Trey Ford, and I did see growth over the first 4 or 5 games. Not the BC game. The BC game, he was off, no question, and should have been pulled, probably. But let's put it this way. What happens if Cody Fajardo, and this is no disrespect to Cody, because he's a championship quarterback, really has nothing to do with him, almost. But let's just say the team plays okay, does not win, and now what? Barney, now what? Now are they going to go week to week deciding who's going to start at quarterback and make this a massive distraction for the next month and a half?
That's kind of what I was saying to Sharky earlier.
Okay. Who gives them the best chance to win every night?
Is the answer Jesus?
But he's not. Well, he's on the DL. He's not available.
Well, I would start the answer to that question for this particular team, for me, Sharky, would be their defense has to play better for them to win every night or have a chance to win every night. That's the first part that has to happen for them. And I know what you're saying and suggesting that we're not talking about college football where you're trying to develop a freshman so that in his junior and senior year, he's the starter and he's your guy. This is pro football, and you have to make these decisions immediately. And they have a guy in the bullpen who is a champion. So I get it, and I just not sure that not going back to your starter, but letting them both know that if your starter is off his game as much as Trey Ford was against BC, that you're going to make a change probably by the end of the first quarter. So, there's all of these discussions on coaches sending the wrong signal. If you pull a guy too soon, you're sending the wrong signal. It's like we're leaving breadcrumbs for these emotional quarterbacks that don't have, you got to be so careful with their confidence and stuff. Why not just bring them in and treat them like grown-ups, cut the shoes off their jammies, and say, look, we need you both to win, okay? We need you both to win. Trey, you're our starter. You're still our starter, so you go and start. But if you don't see it and you're playing like you did in BC, I'm putting Cody in there. So don't pout about it. Don't be upset about it. Don't think that it means you've lost your position forever and ever, amen. Let's just try to win a football game. And then cut them loose and let them go. I don't know. I just think if Cody goes out and leads this team to a big win, which is going to be a very tough task against Saskatchewan, then okay, then they make the change. They've got their veteran in there. That's why they brought him over, and that'll be the narrative. If they don't, and Cody plays okay, but they don't win, now what? Now it becomes competition week to week, and it's a distraction.
A couple of people in the text line got my Ned Braden reference, by the way. There, hey, do you believe in trap games, Glenn?
I think you can. I think that players are human, and I think when you're on a roll, sometimes you start to feel pretty good about yourselves, and you start to think, we can show up. It's not a conscious thought, but it's back there. It's just a little bit less hustle, and you probably don't even notice it until you watch the video the next day. But then you think, why was I not quite as fast to the ball there? So I know the coaches remind you, and you try to work on your own level of excellence in your own locker room and things like that. But they're human. So you're winning a bunch in a row, you start to think you're pretty good, and you start to maybe believe you can show up to win. And you cannot in this league show up to win. You better play your best.
Would you be shocked if the Elks shut down the Riders' running attack, especially on first down?
I'll be shocked if this. It's funny. It's an interesting question. It's a tricky question because the biggest surprise for me in the league might be that the Edmonton defense has underachieved so poorly. Mm-hmm. Like it's this level of underachievement for the Edmonton defense. Look at their personnel, way better than they've been playing. I mean, they've had a quarter here and there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they played better. But the way that Trevor is seeing the game, the fact that Sam Emelis is back for his second game back from injury. First one is always sort of feeling your way through it, coming back off injury. Second one is when you really can kick in again. So I expect an even bigger game out of him. And then the run game. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised for their defense to play better and for it to be a dogfight. But I would be surprised if Edmonton just goes in and shuts down Trevor Harris and this offense. I would be surprised at that.
We don't get you again before Friday night. The game in here. I think the Riders run away. I really do. I think I'm looking at a 40-10. 40-15.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, but I literally...
Last weekend felt like that.
It did.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't, but it could have been very quickly, and I think they run away with this one. I think Edmonton is very, very delicate right now, right? They're very delicate, and any little disaster that we see as a bad play is going to be a mind blower for them, and I literally think the Riders run away with this. Am I crazy?
Yeah,
He's not in the prediction business.
No, I just asked if I was crazy. That's not a prediction.
But, no, well, I won't call it crazy because I think the part when you said about if something bad happens that it'll just sort of pile on for Edmonton. It's that fight with the everybody's number one enemy, which is self-doubt. And everybody has that. Whether you're on the golf course, Barney, or wherever. You have that self-doubt when you're pulling the club and you're in between clubs or whatever, and you're looking at.
You played with Barney?
Chip, but yeah, I've got
self-doubt. Glenn starts when I pop the trunk open and start putting on my shoes. Just to let you know.
That's exactly. When you have that 25-yard chip shot you got to make, and you say to yourself just before you swing, I'm really bad at this. That's self-doubt winning. That is self-doubt winning. And then you watch the ball scull right across the green to the other side, and you're still. But that's what the Elks are fighting against right now. The Elks are fighting against that self-doubt. So when something bad happens, self-doubt jumps in and says, "See, you're not very good, and you're going to lose again." And that fight is going to be a tough one for them. But here's the thing, and here's why I disagree on the blowout. I think it'll be a dogfight, Sharky, because this is a desperate team. And they're pros and they're grown men, and they understand that when you're desperate and you need to win a game badly, then it's not about those big plays just happening. It's about every single little step you take. So they're going to be disciplined. They're going to be in their gaps on defense. They're going to run their routes to the exact part that they are, part on the field that they should be running their routes to. And we'll see if Cody is accurate and puts the ball where he needs to and goes out and competes. So I think it'll be closer because of that, because they're grown men. Listen, everybody's talking about Calgary for this game tonight. You know who beat Calgary? Ottawa.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's their one loss. Ottawa.
In a Cayman Island typhoon. But what do you think about that game tonight? Damian Alford, curious to see, 3 games in a row. I might sprinkle on some sort of prop bet there. What are you expecting? What are you thinking of tonight's game that you're calling?
Well, Damian Alford in the last 2 games has 230 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like 4. He has that 81-yarder. Yeah, and he's a rookie, first-round draft pick. And, I'm going to, in our pregame show tonight, I'm going to do a kind of an inside look, a special telestrator look at some of the things that he does really well. But he's up against Kabion Ento, who is a taller, very good corner for Montreal. So it's an excellent matchup. It's one we'll be watching tonight, and the viewer will be able to see little close-ups of. But he's turning heads, and it's great. I mean, this is the we talked about on Tuesday, Barney. This is sort of the silver lining when a guy gets hurt. And, Clark Barnes gets hurt after a touchdown catch against the Bombers when they played in Calgary. And he hasn't been able to come back from his ankle. And Damian Alford is not coming off the field, so they're going to have to find another spot for Barnes.
I'm looking forward to the game tonight.
So am I. Big time. Yeah.
And say what you want, and people that are cool, and it's like, okay, put a little wager on, sit back tonight, and watch an interesting matchup. And I expect McLeod Bethel Thompson to move the ball.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just one of those things. We got anything else?
No, that's. I've already told that I'm not crazy, so I'm going to go with that.
I texted Dusty to just say, how many Hulk Hogan references can you put in tonight's broadcast? And all he texted back was brother. So I'm looking forward to that more than anything tonight. Glenn, have a lot of fun. Send us that bear video.
Yes.
By the way, and we'll send you some just bins ones from Regina. We'll compare.
You got it. As soon as it's up on my phone, I'll send it to you guys, because I don't know what it'll look like. Maybe him squatting in front of my front door. That's not going to be fun. But we'll see.
It'll still be good. It'll still be good.
Have a good weekend. We'll catch up next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Glenn.
Press coverage with Glen Suitor for Bronco Plumbing and Heating. Professional service is guaranteed with that crew. They're going to treat you right. 781-2090. You don't like that? You don't like Montreal having a sniff tonight?
I don't see it. I really don't.
Well, then you go the other way, and I'll go Montreal. Montreal to cover, or really out on a limb in Montreal money line.
I've already placed a bet on the Stamps. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to break. We'll come back. We got so much to talk about, and we got Clutch Performer. It is a SportsCage, streaming at sportscage.com.
I'll take this.
Okay.
I got two. I do, and I know you've already done Luke Cote winning the provincial amateur championship in Humboldt.
Oh yeah.
But he's off to Ottawa tomorrow to start nationals, and wish Luke all the best down there. First time since 1966, a member of the Royal Regina Golf Club has been the provincial champion.
Huh.
Yeah, That's quite a deal.
guy.
Congratulations, Luke, and best of luck in Ottawa. The other one is to the Regina Red Sox management. Had a meeting with our good friend there, and he said they've lost all their starting pitchers have signed pro contracts. So they had to airlift in a bunch of pitchers. They've got 7 games over the next 4 days, 3 doubleheaders coming up, a bunch of new arms in the rotation, so look out. Could be amazing. Could be trouble, but the Red Sox got some new looks coming up this weekend. So good job for them for finding more bodies.
They have a stretch of double headers like
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never even heard of that before, but they got to get them in. So, yeah, go Sox.
It could be 936-6262. Can you pitch for the Red Sox this weekend?
You got to be under 25. Yeah.
Is that the rule?
That's the rule, yeah.
Clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Lots to talk about with the riders when it comes to that. We got some Trevor Harris clips coming up here right away, but just in the text messages with Hulk Hogan passing away, a couple of people, I think one was Dan and one was Rich, that they were massive fans of The Ultimate Warrior.
Oh.
That guy was always hopped up on something.
Yeah.
He was psyched. But he was the
Right from
face
the start,
paint.
yeah.
He had things around his arms and legs and all. He had like, where we talked earlier, Hulk Hogan was like gold trunks and
Yes.
boots and his hair and mustache.
Yeah.
He didn't really have any, like the big boss man wore
Ripped his
the
shirt off, carried on. Yeah.
Andre the Giant too wore that very tight singlet or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that wasn't a great look.
Wasn't a great look for Andre.
For anybody to watch. Yeah.
His wife was probably like, but yeah, and then there was like looking through King Kong Bundy was another, like, here, just throw on this super tight singlet. You're, extremely overweight, but get out there and wrestle. But Hercules Hernandez, he fought him. He had like a little get up.
But Rock only wore the Speedo.
Who?
The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't have a, right?
True.
Right?
Roddy Piper had to get up.
He had to get up. He had the kilt, right?
Terrible Terry Funk. No. I'm trying to think.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man. I
loved him.
I had that purple shirt.
Oh.
Macho Man Randy. And when then him and Hulk joined forces and Elizabeth was there and all that, I think that was a great thing. What was that kook that ate the turnbuckle? George the Animal Steel.
Ate the turnbuckle.
Somebody's crazy grandpa out there eating turnbuckles every week. Matt, you go through, you're just driving home at the start of the show, we went off on some old school wrestling.
Did you ever see the old Stampede Wrestling?
Absolutely.
They used to tour through?
Have I ever told you the Stampede Wrestling story on this show?
Go ahead.
All right. Story time. We should get sponsored.
We get a sponsor.
We are at Stampede. I think I told this on the Nooner. That's where Stampede Wrestling in the basement of the Centennial Auditorium in Saskatoon, which is like the Connexus Arts Center.
Yeah.
They had a ring in the basement where the Rams dinner was and all that. Weird place to hold wrestling. So we are in like grade 7-ish, whatever. We go and watch Stampede Wrestling, that toilet bowl, muckasing, all that. And it is, the guys aren't into it for sure.
They're on the 7th.
There's not a lot of people there. And the roof or ceiling,
it's pretty low.
It's super low, and they had lights. So one guy jumps off the top rope, hits his head on that light, plays it off like it's part of the thing. He's leaking on that bad white canvas everywhere. And it's like, even at grade 7 and you come to, we're looking, this is Bush League, guys. Like this. So remember the old, they had them at McDonald's too, the silver ashtrays?
Yes.
They were like, and you could bend them and
you could shape them anything you
want. They
want.
were everywhere because smoking was allowed. So I'm sitting there, I'm making knuckle dusters.
Of course you are.
Out of this thing, and I throw it in the ring. Well, sure enough, the guy grabs it and starts giving to this guy with the knuckle dusters, and that was my claim to fame. I was like, I made knuckle dusters for Stampede Wrestling in front of 400 people in the basement of...
I saw it once at the old Exhibition Auditorium here in Regina. Mm-hmm. They've since torn that down. Yeah. It was a great auditorium for that sort of thing, right? Deep or high seating, the bowl in front of you. It was awesome. Also a great ring to sell cattle in. But
Smell great.
Smelled great. Even I. And the part that always killed me is they all got out and got in the same van and carried on to the next town, wherever they were going after that. So, yeah.
Again, please, someone build a time machine. So we can just go back and live all this. And now that we know what we know, go back and, it don't take us all. Just take a few of us.
Not everybody gets to come along.
I remember the first time I went to WWF wrestling at Sask Place. Then they came like the big,
the big
WWF show. Coming to Sask Place. It's, Barry Horowitz versus, it was just like a bad lineup.
It was all the second stringers.
And the second string ring. They didn't you expected the ring to have the WWF on the turnbuckles where Crazy George ate it was like this garbage ring. It was the white canvas probably from Stampede Wrestling in the basement with the blood on it. And I'm like, well, this is come on. And it was a bad lineup, and I think maybe that Paul Orndorff might have been the headliner, or Greg the Hammer Valentine. I don't know. But it was a disappointing. And then they came back a couple other times they went. And then the time they came back, they had a big event in Saskatoon that was like nationally televised and all that. By then, I already...
You'd already dismissed
I've already found out that girls were a thing, and I was out of wrestling. I wasn't in anymore. I was like, but the 80s.
Hey, these girls are neat.
What a wild ride. Like the wrestlers, the stickers we talked about, and Hostess potato chips. And they just kept going with marketing.
It was amazing.
And there was 12, 20 channels. So you were exposed to that and you were engaged. And it's a lot like when you think about the CFL and all these people that think they're experts and, hey, we got to get the younger kids. You can't. The kids now, watch a kid nowadays and tell me that he's going to go watch something for 3 hours.
You can barely get 3 minutes of attention.
Talk to any child psychologist. That's where they need to start. I've tried to get one on the show to be like, explain to people how the child brain works in 2025. They're not going to sit, even a hockey game.
Yep.
They're not going to watch that. They're not. Everything is phone, quick, TikTok,
instant,
boom, all that. It's like, hey, you can say till you're blue in the face, hey, it's great. People are talking about the league. Yeah. But if you say garbage and stuff like that, would you go to a restaurant when someone talks about the league? No. So talk about it as much as you want and talk about how you got to get to the youth. How are you going to do that? Talk about the kid's brain and how can you attract kids to sit and watch anything for 3 hours?
It's a challenge.
Sorry,
where's your question hat? Yeah.
Where's
the Croft Coulson?
Croft Electric question
When you
hat.
put the Croft hat on, then we know. So there's a lot.
I'm waiting for the NASCAR.
We didn't get. We didn't. We just. There was wrestling, and you sat and watched wrestling, or you sat and watched. And they marketed to us, and it was like, I need that.
There was nothing else on.
I need that. Those thumb wrestlers, which were awful.
You couldn't even the change channel was irrelevant.
You had to get up and change it. Remember?
Are you kidding? I'm watching black and white, so I'm old.
Let's talk NASCAR.
There we go.
The SportsCage NASCAR Report, where rubbin' is racing, is brought to you by Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. Visit croftelectric.com and on all socials.
NASCAR last week was in Dover, in Delaware. Denny Hamlin won the 1 mile challenge there on the concrete raceway. So a bit like driving on Winnipeg highways.
Oh, yeah, we got such beauty highways here.
No, ours are potholes. Ours are potholes.
Have you driven under any of our underpasses lately?
No, I try to avoid those at all costs. For Hamlin, I think that's the third win of the year for him. He was the fastest lap. Did not lead most of the race. Elliott did. Elliott led 238 laps. But Hamlin was the winner in the end. William Byron was right there with him, skidded out on the second last lap, and Hamlin got through for the win. Hamlin was already in the playoffs as he'd won earlier races in the season. 16 of the spots in the playoffs, 12 are decided by winners. There's 4 spots open
here we
with
go.
5 races left to go.
I remember this last year.
Yes.
You educating me on this.
Yes. Yeah. 5 races left to go. 4 spots open. Your boy, Reddick, is holding the final spot, or the lead of the non-winners in the playoff race.
Pokey's boy.
This weekend, we're in Indianapolis, right? Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite tracks. I'd love to go see it. Got to put that on my must-do list here shortly.
Here's a question.
Fire away.
Go to Indianapolis to watch the race or go hunting with Brendon LaBatte up north?
Oh, I'd go hunting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But good thing they're not at the same time, so I could do both. Yeah. Cooler. So Chicago, they had the street race. Chicago has decided not to do that next year and have the street race in the city. All kinds of issues around that, blocking traffic, all the rest of it. Instead, the Naval Air Base in Colorado will host a street race next year. The video online they've got with Instagram is fantastic to watch if you want to go out and see what they've got set up. NASCAR is going to the Naval Air Force Base in Colorado, and it's going to be, the street race will be on the Air Force Base, which will be incredibly cool.
No doubt.
And the flyby, I imagine, is going to be epic at that one. That'll be a bigger than usual flyby. So
they might not even be a flyby. It might just be they're out there buzzing.
They follow right over the track.
Have they done that before?
Not that I can remember them being on a military base. No, not that. I mean, they might have in the past, and we can get our fact checker to look that up, but not that I remember. So
I don't know if they've been on a base before, but did you say Colorado or Coronado?
I thought it was Colorado. Is it Coronado?
Coronado in San Diego. You said naval base in Colorado, and I was like, I don't think there's naval bases in Colorado.
My mistake. Yeah, my lack of speech and reading skills is coming through.
Coronado, it's a beautiful little nice track there.
Yeah.
That you go across the bridge from San Diego. I lost my nephew. He was
in the water? What did you?
He was 19 years old, so not even of age. He came on a CKRM client trip with us. We took him to San Diego. Went to the bar. He got in, and I didn't know where he was. He woke up he was partying on the naval base.
Is it possible to make that a CKRM client SportsCage trip to the NASCAR race and golf in San Diego?
You're onto something.
Hey, could we do that? Like, that would be epic.
We need a travel agent to start.
Well, we've got one.
Crofty would be involved. How about a job that he did last week, filling in for you?
He did well. Yes,
so comfortable.
Yeah, I heard he did very, very well. I'm sorry that I missed it, but yeah,
it was radio only.
Yes,
so people didn't get to see him.
He's very handsome.
He's fit. He was
very fit.
He came in and he got his swole on. I was like, did you do push-ups before you came on?
No, they're just like always like that. Yeah, he wakes up in that shape.
He did an awesome job.
By the way, Chase Elliott is now the leader in the standings. He has surpassed William Byron. Got a 16-point lead on him.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all I got.
It's for Croft Electric. 27 years of reliable service in and around Regina. CroftElectric.com. And you can find them on all the socials. We'll take a quick break. It is the Sports Cage. We are streaming at SportsCage.com.
This is where we play. This is where we live. Extreme Hockey and Sport is where we shop when we need the gear for our game in our town. Hockey is in our blood as much as the prairies themselves. Extreme Hockey and Sport understands this. That's why they provide the Saskatchewan Stars of tomorrow only the best. Every level, any budget, expert fit. They're your local sit and fit hockey shop. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, Regina's hockey shop.
620 CKRM on location.
YAC Auction has the equipment that you need for your farm. Bid on a great selection of farm equipment July 24th to the 29th, including tractors like a Versatile 375 4-wheel drive, Claws 810 front wheel assist, Claws 840 front wheel assist, and a Massey 8670 front wheel assist tractor. There's skid steers, augers, sprayers, and a whole bunch more. Check it out online, yacauctions.com. Call us for more information, 306-782-5999, or come to the yard. We're just 4 miles east of Yorkton on Highway 10.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
Look over here, apples. Now look over here. Oranges. Let's compare them.
Hey, you can't compare apples and oranges. What you can compare is Freeze Tallman's pricing on decking, railing, and fencing to all the big box stores. If you need a decking, railing, or fencing job this season and want to shop local, then Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel is exactly what you're looking for. Heck, they even deliver. There's no comparison.
Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
This is SportsCage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back, brother. If you're eating your vitamins and saying your prayers like all the little Hulkamaniacs, we lost the Hulkster at 71 today. Riders, Elks tomorrow. Cody Fajardo making his first start in Regina, in Saskatchewan, since he departed. You like the play.
I do. I think it gives Edmonton the best chance to win.
I'm on the side of Glen Suitor, where now I think you're making it worse by kind of, it looks like, giving up on Trey Ford. But, we'll see. And I really think Trey Ford would have given him the better chance to win just because of his schoolyard run around crazy. It's probably not, the longevity isn't there, and maybe there's some more stability with Cody, but I think the Riders defense will feast on him.
Yeah, I think they're going to feast, period. Didn't matter who was in there.
Trevor Harris almost 400 yards last week. We would expect a big game from Harris again. And what's the receiver of choice tomorrow?
Could be anybody. They've all had great games. He spreads it around pretty good.
Keyshawn Johnson. Watch it.
You like that?
Look it. Keyshawn Johnson, anytime touchdown. I'm going to take it. But Trevor Harris talks about what he's expecting from the Edmonton defense.
They're going to play hard. They're going to give us different looks that we haven't seen before, and we're going to give them looks they haven't seen before. Just pro football. That's how it works. And tons of respect for J.C. Sherritt. He's a tremendous football mind, Hall of Fame player. Had a lot of fun playing against him. And shoot, we know that they've played well in games. It's not like people are just dog walking these guys. These guys are good football players, and they've played well in games. They've held up really well. And sometimes, they just get they've just been on the field a little bit too long, and get put back on the field a decent amount. And so it's our job to make sure that we can kind of keep them on the field and try and see what kind of looks they're trying to give us. Give our defense a break, do what we need to do to, finish in the red zone, those sorts of things, that I kind of talk every week. I feel like I'm a broken record, but it's just about us, making sure we're executing because we know they're good. They're a good defense. We're not going to make any mistake about that.
He brings up a point, J.C. Sherritt, which was here last year coaching. He's now back with the Elks where he played. It's a good point. What was your take on Mario Anderson? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, Glenn made the point that Edmonton's defense has got to play better, right? So J.C. Sherritt maybe rise to the challenge and get that defense ready to play. I don't think that Edmonton is in any position to beat the Riders. I'd be the most shocked guy on the planet if it happened. Mm-hmm. I do think if they have a chance, it's because Cody Fajardo is going to be the quarterback, and he's a quarterback that's going to run the play, not run sandlot football, which I think is what they get out of Trey Ford.
Running back Mario Anderson is now in the fold. He's in. He's playing tomorrow. Trevor Harris on if Anderson can pick up where he left off at training camp.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know the brass upstairs really loved Mario when he was here and before he got here. And we had some good running backs in training camps. So the fact that he was the one they held on to, I should tell you guys everything you need to know about him. And to me, I always talk to the running backs anyway. I'm always telling them, making sure we're on the same page because. If we screw up, at least we screw up together, sort of a situation, no matter if it's their route, the side of the run, or, if they're check protection, if they're getting out quick or what their mindset is, we always kind of check them with one another. And so he's been razor sharp this week and excited for him.
I'll get to your prediction later. Well, you already said you're expecting a 30-point spread.
Yeah.
So you're going to hammer the Riders
I'm going to hammer the Riders.
10 points or whatever they're getting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll hear more from Harris and Mace as we go along here. It is break time. It is a sports cage. We are on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM. It is for Extreme Hockey and Sport Riders news. Noah Zaire will start on the O-line. Zach Fry is out tomorrow. Also, the Elks have a starting quarterback. They named Cody Fajardo their guy tomorrow, 7 p.m. Things start here with the Rider broadcast crew at 4 p.m. Canadian Football League Week 8 starts tonight. Montreal Alouettes, taking them on the points, in Calgary to take on the Stamps. 5 former members of Canada's 2018 World Junior Hockey Team were acquitted of all charges today in a closely watched sexual assault trial. Michael McLeod, Alex Formerton, Carter Hart, Dylan Dubé, and Cal Foote had been charged with sexual assault in connection with an incident in London back in 2018. Western Canadian Baseball League, Red Sox, busy stretch. They're in Lethbridge tonight. Swift Currents and Saskatoon, Medicine Hats and Moose Jaw. Provincial Senior Golf, Regina's Kim Walker leads on the women's side. This is seniors at the Chinook and Swift Current. Rick Halberg from Kedosi and Brad Phelps are battling on the men's. And the Jays take on the Detroit Tigers tonight after taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees. It's for Extreme Hockey and Sport, where right now they got select helmets, Bauer style, 25% off if you need a lid. See the local sporting goods store, Extreme Hockey and Sport. Let's go. Phone lines. Guess who we're going to talk to?
I'm going with
Brian
Floyd
Raymond.
Springs.
Brian Raymond. Here we go. Game day tomorrow. Brian, people coming in. Bring your sticks. Play a little golf before the game.
That is an absolutely fantastic idea. The weather looks like it's going to be for cooperating, so by all means, if you're coming in early, we got openings tomorrow afternoon. If you want to come out and play Saturday, hey, we got room for you.
Brian, with the middle of summer, the heat of summer, if you will, coming up, what's the best advice you give for golfers coming out to the golf course?
Stay hydrated. And I don't mean beer.
Oh, all right. Well, what else do you sell?
Nice try, Sharky.
No, and hey,
you know what? This is a really sunscreen is another big thing. I mean, you're out in the middle of this. Sometimes when you're playing, you don't realize just what's going on, but your skin's frying when it gets really. And these days, where limited protection, by all means, make sure you have sunscreen and be hydrated. Take water.
And if people just want to play 9 holes, let's remember you can play 9 out there.
Well, you know what? That's been happening quite a lot lately because of when it's really, really hot or because of the smoke. Folks come out and they just want to play 9 holes. We have a 9-hole rate any time of the day, so make sure you check in with us. When you check in, just let us know that you want to play 9 holes.
There we go. How do they find you, Brian?
Give us a call at 306-543-5050, and you can book online at flowingspringsgolf.com.
Give us a prediction for the game quick.
I think the Riders are probably going to win by 2 touchdowns.
2 TDs.
I got more than that, Brian.
All right.
Yeah.
You might be right.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, thanks so much. If you want to golf, look up Flowing Springs, like he said, and check out the deals. And every day there's a special after 6 p.m. I love that one, to walk the golf course.
Yeah.
You can't find a better deal to golf, so have fun doing that. Hour 3 is going to start with Arash Madani. It is a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. Hour 3, thanks for making some time. If you're driving home or driving to the lake, you haven't picked it up on the podcast, you might want to do that later, because we had Brendon LaBatte, former Rider, on in hour 1. Was that a lot of fun?
That was good.
Glen Suitor in hour 2. It's been a great show. Sharky's with me when Sharky's with me on Thursdays. It's for Flooring Superstore, 20 years of experience, and they have a massive warehouse. And whether you need it done yourself or needed it done, or you can do it yourself, the cash and carry prices can't be beat at Flooring Superstore. Thanks to Access Communications, our sponsor of the Thursday Sports Cage. Access Communication, they are trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Rider game day tomorrow. If you are hungry, if you're driving home right now, I'm going to possibly piss you off.
Oh, yeah.
KFC End Zone Big Crunch on Rider game days at all participating KFCs in Saskatchewan. The End Zone Big Crunch, $4.95. The Big Crunch Combo, just $7.95. All participating KFCs in Saskatchewan on Rider game days only. Now I am craving a French fry and gravy from KFC. Or the Western Pizza, too. Don't sleep on the Western Pizza Rider special.
It's a good one.
Heck of a deal as well. Western Pizza guest hotline right away with Arash. A lot to get to. And if you're going to the game tomorrow, tune us in. 4 p.m. It all starts right here. I'm 3 to 4 tomorrow. Just an hour of me. Then they get me out of there. Like I said, they don't trust me with any of that. I'm the guy you don't want driving your boat or being on your
on the Ryder broadcast.
Pre-game show, yeah. Ooh, this guy's going to say something stupid, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'll be a lot of fun. Let's go talk to Arash right now.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
All you little Hulksters,
hold on.
Eat your vitamins and...
Hold on. I gotta bury the lead here because I have a Brendon LaBatte story. You had Brendon LaBatte on for the first hour. We're going right to Hogan. It's up to you.
Well, I was going to go to Hogan, but now you killed it.
Take two coming down with Barney.
Fun.
Sorry, I interrupted.
This is live radio. Look at that shirt. If you're watching the stream,
that's beautiful.
Icon versus Icon. The cage match or Pontiac Silverdome? Which was your favorite?
This is Pontiac. This is the T-shirt from the Pontiac Silverdome, WrestleMania 3, Hogan versus Andre. I got it at the Hulk Hogan's shop on Clearwater Beach, not to be confused with Hulk's Bar, about 4 doors down from Hogan's store, where in the spring of 2022, during baseball spring training, I watched WrestleMania at Hulk's Bar, and the creatures in that place that night, fellas. I mean, it like what you could imagine Hulk's Bar on WrestleMania Sunday would look like in Clearwater Beach, Florida. It checked every box.
There were probably some former wrestlers in there. The terrible Terry Funks of the world. I don't know if you know if he's passed on. Barry Horowitz, Steve Lombardi. What was that?
I think there were a lot of people in that bar who thought they were wrestlers.
But what an icon. The body slam of Andre the Giant in the Silverdome. I remember them coming out in those little carts and how big of a deal Bobby the Brain Heenan with Andre the Giant. And that was the biggest crowd for like an event, a sporting entertainment event, because the Silverdome was massive. If you were up in the nosebleeds and you're looking at it, like that ring would have been so small, but what an event. And then he body slams him to win. And then the leg drop.
So it's so hard to even like start explaining this in 2025 of what the spring of 1987 was. Okay, 93,000 people inside a dome. Yes, that is transferable. But if you wanted to watch that anywhere, WrestleMania 3 became iconic because it was one of the first events that was available on closed circuit. So that meant if you were in Regina or Halifax or whatever, you'd have to go to like a public event, either a movie theater, an arena, and that was the only place that it was available. It was like way before the internet. It was way before social media. It was way before pay-per-view. And that became the event. Like WrestleMania 3, 1 and 2 were, the original and then the weird kind of sequel. WrestleMania 3 put it on the map, and it's because Andre did business and Hogan became as mainstream and hot a superstar in the North American, not just in the North American kind of like sports conscience, but he transcended into pop culture as a pro wrestler. Like he became an actor, like all that stuff.
He was an actor though as a wrestler, right? He's just a very in shape actor.
Then he became Mr. Mom. Then he became Suburban Commando. He was in one of the Rocky movies. Like
Sharky didn't remember Thunderlips. Sharky didn't remember him as Thunderlips in Rocky 3.
Don't point at me like I did something wrong. I just didn't know.
But he was on like Saturday Night Live. He'd be on those late night talk shows when nobody would be on, like no wrestler would be on late night talk shows. And then Vince McMahon wanted, like, think about what wrestling had been forever. Up until the late 80s. It was a territory-based area. Yep. Every kind of region had its own thing. Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan made wrestling national and made the WWF at the time, now WWE. So, I don't know. Is the word acceptable? It became very water cooler conversation and became very national very quickly.
It cleaned up the entertainment. It changed the way it was presented and made it a bigger show than it was before. Like you said, it was very regional. They all got in the 15-passenger van and drove to the next city for the next show. This became a bigger entertainment piece and put on better.
The thing that I want to get Arash's take on was we were talking, and I remember many a nights I brought up the fact that if you could, I would look in the TV guide that would come out in the shopper on Tuesday paper to find out if there was going to be a Saturday night main event, because you never knew when it was. There was no structure to life back then. You just looked at something and be like, oh right, there is one. Let's plan a sleepover at Ken Stanton's house. That was what we did. And then we drank peach juice and ate potato chips and watched Saturday Night Main Event. And it was so we had all the wrestlers and all that. Nowadays, Arash, to try my 14-year-old or 12-year-old or any of their friends to be like, hey, sit down and watch an hour of wrestling. Sit down and watch an hour of anything is so difficult. That's why these people that think it's like, hey, we're talking about the CFL, we're gonna get younger fans. How? Kids ain't gonna watch 3 hours of football. Tough break.
So look, I'm in my mid 40s. Okay, this is how ridiculous this all sounds to somebody who's under the age of 30. I go into my brother-in-law's their spare room / office, whatever you want to call it. And
what's his name?
His name's Kyle.
Kyle.
Kyle didn't shed a tear today, by the way, because he was a Macho Man Ultimate Warrior guy. So
Macho Man Randy said.
So I go into the spare room, and you know how some people have bobbleheads and some people have, I don't know, mini helmets or whatever your collection of choice is. He's got a collection of Randy Savage and Warrior. Remember those wrestling dolls? Like the closest thing, we didn't have video games. Those wrestling dolls, he's got a dozen of each guy. I'm like, Kyle, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Here's the story.
Okay.
At my mom's house
in Saskatoon,
Riversdale, Saskatoon, she tells me every other time I'm there, hey, you got to take those suitcases and take them to your house. You got a 5-bedroom house and it's just you. I have every single one of those wrestlers. And the last one that I couldn't get, and I remember this day vividly, and I found it at a garage sale. I'm like in grade 8. Jimmy Superfly Snuka. I could never get him, and I got him. Big John Studd. My buddy's sister stole it from me.
Big John Studd.
Ken's sister stole it.
Why did she steal Big John Studd?
Because he didn't have it. And then all of a sudden, about a month or two later, this is a true story. A month or two later, Ken has a Big John Studd. But it had a pen in the teeth. And I looked at it and I'm like, that's mine. Your sister stole it. No, she didn't. But I think that was the end of our friendship, actually.
You broke up.
I have every single one of those wrestlers. And the thumb wrestlers, although we bought it, we got sucked in. Those were stupid. And yes. I have Hulk Hogan in that, and I think Roddy Piper.
Well, the hot rod Roddy Piper was like him and Hogan. Those were the two main ones that everybody had. You had to have.
Piper's Pit. Remember the stuff that used to go on there?
Of course, talk about Snuka. Also, like, remember that whole era? The Honky Tonk Man, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Iron Sheik. Like this is. They did storytelling before storytelling was on vogue.
Big Boss Man, Kamala. Let's shout out Kamala. All you Kamala fans out there. What? Don the Rock Morocco. The British Bulldogs.
Yes.
Like that. They were cool.
They were.
They weren't British.
No.
We didn't know any different. Killer Bees, Brutus Beefcake, Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Don't forget
Listen to your childhood come out.
Nikolai Volkov. When he played that anthem, when he rolled in.
But was it the actual Russian anthem?
Oh, yeah. It was so
and the
cool,
stuff
Arash.
Went on, you would be so canceled today in 30 seconds.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Oh.
How about Elizabeth, too? George the Animal Steel, that psycho that used to eat turnbuckles, and then he had the hots for her, and then Macho Man beat the snot out of him. Like, we were sucked into all this. It was
now. So people are thinking we're speaking Chinese, right? We're talking about the 80s.
Yeah.
But this is where
Mr. Fuji, shout out Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji, yes. The manager to Yokozuna, who was not Japanese. He was Samoan. So Hogan enters the mainstream. He was always the good guy, right? He was always the baby face, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, whatever. Then comes the biggest heel turn in the history of, entertainment. Hulk Hogan became the bad guy at Bash at the Beach in 96. NWO. There was nothing hotter than the New World Order. Remember, those guys were just Nash, Hall, Hogan, those three, and just what that was at a time where the Monday Night Wars were real between Raw and Nitro. It was a time.
So I remember that, but I wasn't a wrestler. I jokingly said to Sharky, by then I had a girlfriend in my own car and all that. I was out of wrestling, but I remember.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection. I'll take the under.
I remember. All right, 96. No way, Jose Canseco was I rolling. Jake the Snake Roberts, we just had a text.
Nice.
Jake the Snake, yeah.
Talk about things that would be canceled nowadays. You couldn't whip open you couldn't take a python to the ring with 30,000 people.
Speaking of being canceled and whipping things out, how about ravishing Rick Rude?
What a stud. Him and Honky Tonk Man together in the same facility. The Canadian earthquake. That ring. You got a text message in. That rings a bell.
Actually, WrestleMania 3, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Randy Savage had a hell of a match in that.
Was that when who hit Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with the bell in the neck? And everyone thought he died. They played that on. And then the steel cage matches. Guys are jumping off the steel cage.
That's following like a story and a half. 2 stories.
He fell. Somebody took the bell, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat got her right in the throat. Well, shouldn't have done what he done.
That wasn't in the script.
I'm sure. Jake the Snake Roberts. Let's go, Kelly. Okay, where else can we go on? Are we done with wrestling? Because we'll be here all day.
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't we just end it there? Yeah, we avoided trouble, so let's.
Yeah. I got Kelly, who's messaged in for 3 days, and I feel bad. He wanted me to, or she wanted me to ask Glenn this question. Willie Jefferson, why hasn't he been fined? I did see that play. I am very confused as well. Willie Jefferson's hit. Do you know anything? Why he hasn't been fined? Have you heard anything there?
I haven't. I will look into it, Kelly, and I will report back next week. You have it. You got my word.
Or text me, and I'll report tomorrow.
Or text you and let you know. Yep, I'll find out.
See, Kelly, we're making you listen tomorrow. Hillbilly Jim, TC and medicine hat. Oh, that was a costume. How are that guy's overalls after 3 and 3?
Oh, man. Bad News Brown. Don't forget him.
Hillbilly Jim. He had a wrestler.
Yep.
Oh, what a nerd I was. Oh, was it fun, though? What a ride, man.
What a childhood.
And then the Hulkamania workout set, which I never got.
Oh, of course.
Ken had it. Of course, Ken had it. Sister probably stole it from somebody. That thing was, but you could have sold us anything back then, Arash, because like I said to Sharky, we had nothing else to do. We sat on our parents' shag carpet with our legs crossed, and we watched wrestling, and then we went and played wrestling, and then we just waited for the next wrestling.
If you were to out Ken's sister by name, is it still libelous, or is the statute of limitations snapped 40 years later? I
think it's snapped. I think you're good. Yeah, I think legally you're good.
I don't know. I can't remember.
You can't remember her name?
3 legal experts here after all, so.
No. I don't. Tomorrow, Cody Fajardo is going to throw footballs at Mosaic Stadium and in Regina for the first time since leaving. Did that one surprise you?
It did. And it has nothing to do with what has happened on the field for Edmonton this year. It has to do with how early in the season it is. And this is what I mean by that.
Yep. I called it under 6 weeks.
It's still the month of July, but way more than that. And fellas, just bear with me. Let's rewind the clock even further to late last fall. If you were involved in the GM search for the Elks, remember, they cleaned house at the end of last season.
Yep.
If you were in the GM search, if you were in the head coaching search, if you were being talked to about the offensive coordinator position in Edmonton, it was made clear to everybody at that chain of command that Trey Ford was going to be the starter. And that directive came from their new president, Chris Morris. Now, I don't know if that's Chris Morris passing along ownership's wishes. We want to have a Canadian quarterback. We want to sell tickets with a Canadian quarterback. Maybe the owner believed in Ford. Or was it Morris himself, a former player, an offensive lineman, head coach at the University of Alberta? He was hell-bent, believing in Trey Ford, etc. But at every step along the way, from last fall through the off-season, through the spring, through training camp, it's Trey Ford. It's Trey Ford. It's Trey Ford. For this to happen this quickly, that's the wild part, and it makes you kind of start to wonder what Ford's future could or couldn't be. We just don't know. If Fajardo has some success the next couple of weeks, wow. If he doesn't, then what? I find this whole thing fascinating because of kind of the tentacles of the whole thing.
I was never a Trey Ford fan, not at any time, because I don't think he plays quarterback in the system. He plays sandlot quarterback, meaning you're the bottle cap, you're the broken piece of glass, you're the yellow stick, and out you guys go, and I'll try to find one of you while I run around. I don't think he gives them a chance to win every night, right? He's great to come in maybe in relief or if there's an injury or if you want to completely change the way the defense looks at you. But Trey Ford as a starting quarterback does not play quarterback. I'd like to see Trey Ford be their third down guy or their short yardage guy or where they, the running back they put in when they got 2 quarterbacks in. But I don't think he's going to give you a chance to win every night.
And Sharky, we can talk about the football side of it and what he can and can't do, etc. This is what's fascinating to me. It's not just that Trey Ford was quarterback last year for Edmonton. At the end of the previous season, he was starting games for the Elks. There has been a body of work, and the organization decided this is our franchise quarterback. They paid him to be the franchise quarterback. Mm-hmm. They were hell-bent the whole way on this being the franchise quarterback. Not that McLeod Bethel Thompson is much right now at this stage of his career. They traded McLeod Bethel Thompson away, remember, in the offseason to Montreal for Fajardo. And on his way out, MBT was like, this isn't the right call. He's not the guy. So they put all their chips in the middle of the table with one card up and one card face down, but they were that convinced that either the dealer was going to bust or somehow this hand was going to win.
You make me want to play blackjack for starters. But text line, Dion earlier, even though I'm excited that my Eskimos benched Ford, I don't see how the Riders' offense doesn't roll over the Eskimos' terrible D. And then he says, Ford should never start again for the Eskimos unless injury. There isn't one team in the CFL that Ford would be a starter from season opener. Eskimos fan.
This is why I push back on this. Okay? 2 reasons. The easy one is, Trey Ford just a couple of weeks ago had a perfect quarterback rating. Okay, so let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's one. But here's the other one. What was the last part of that sentence, Barney? Just reread that if it's still in front of you.
There isn't one team in the CFL that Ford would be the starter from season opener.
I would suggest that Ottawa could have been an option this year. I would suggest with Chad Kelly out that Toronto could have been an option this year. I would say right now there's another, like in Montreal today, not the start of the season. Davis Alexander was obviously the guy. Right now, would you rather, honestly, Trey Ford or McLeod Bethel Thompson if you're the Alouettes right now?
I'm taking McLeod Bethel Thompson to beat the Stamps tonight.
Yeah, I'm betting against that, by the way. Yeah.
Not a big not a big bet, just to keep it interesting as I look through all my wrestling posters.
That's right. As you say your prayers and eat your vitamins.
Oh, brother. I texted Dusty to see how many Hulk Hogan references he can plop into the broadcast tonight. So see if he's up for the challenge. It'll be interesting. Hey, Winnipeg goes into Toronto, rematch of last year's Grey Cup, which fast forward a few weeks and it feels like anything but 2 championship contenders.
And I'm telling you, Winnipeg doesn't look right. I give them more of a chance just because their roster's better. And the fact that they have 3 wins and Toronto has 1. I heard Chad Kelly practice this week. Chad Kelly is nowhere near playing. Nowhere near game ready. He's just not. Then you look around the Argos roster. You lose your best offensive lineman to the scooter accident. The cupboard's bare when it comes to real talent there. Like, the moral of the story is win when you can, because you never know when it's all going to come apart.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, like I've been saying this, Barney, now for 2-3 weeks now. There is just as good a chance that we do not see Chad Kelly the rest of the season as there is we get to see him at some point here over the next few weeks.
You have been saying that. Let's say, quickly, do you want to say anything on the Hockey Canada verdicts and the fallout today?
I saw this from the Secretary of State for Sport for Canada, Adam Van Couverden. Van Couverden won gold for Canada in the kayak at the Olympics. And part of his message was this. He said, "We take note of the independent court's decision today." Van Couverden wrote, "This is a critical moment in sport. The case has sparked a national conversation about safe sport and the problematic culture in men's hockey." Van Couverden went on to say, "It is the voices of women and the courage and bravery it takes to come forward that have led to the changes in toxic culture that we are seeing." And he goes on to say, a few more things. I think there's a lot there for people to digest, no matter what the court's ruling was today.
Colson's got the question hat on.
Yep, he's got his question cap on. He's ready.
No, I'm just ready for when you're wrapping things up. I found something about the bell and the dragon.
I've got a text message. It was Randy Macho Man Savage.
It was.
Who hit Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in the throat. And Perry, I just love the listeners when they start firing in texts. Hot take Perry. He goes, "Shank, don't forget about Tatanka."
Oh.
Classic good guy, bad guy, depending on who he faced. I remember Tatanka. Who didn't want a red mohawk running around elementary school?
No chance that character exists in 2025.
No way. Yeah. And then Ron in Regina found a Hulk Hogan workout set. Deluxe Hulkamania workout set, vintage, blah, blah, blah. I think he wanted to send a picture, but it didn't come through. Oh, guess how much it is?
I don't know. $199.
There's no way I would have thought this. Arash, guess?
Like in today money or in that day's
today money. It's on SD, whatever that is. My wife probably knows.
If it was posted before today, $12.99.
$14.93.81.
Oh my God, $1,500
Canadian.
Wow. Wow is right.
Is that your wager on McLeod Bethel Thompson tonight, by the way?
No.
No.
But I'm curious because we had Glenn on, I forget the fellow's name, from Montreal that will be up against Damien Alford to see if he can shut him down. Because there's game tape now. 2 games, he's torched teams. It's like, okay, this is what his tendencies are. This is what he does. We're going to put you here. We're going to double him here. The chess game that is football, love it. I'm curious. It's a very interesting watch. Now, for my kids to sit down and watch the whole game, never going to happen tonight. Me, on the other hand, yep.
Curtis, can you put the camera on Sharky real quick, please?
What's the question?
Sharky, he's doing that thing where he's trying to convince himself of his wager.
Yeah.
That's what's going on right now. Just in case you were wondering.
I live through it all the time. You're not here
So
every
you're
day.
saying there's a chance. What happened to all that 1 in a million talk?
Yeah,
huh?
it happens here all the time. All the time.
So now we know when you're here for the dinner with Bruce Boudreau, August 28th, where there's still a table available at the Royal Regina, we can talk some wrestling. 80s wrestling only, because once I got to high school, I was out.
Bruce is going to know
Bruce loves it.
Yeah, you got to think he's got the collection of figurines as well. I'll guarantee you.
Bruce actually had the biggest comic book collection you could ever imagine back in the day.
Really?
Bruce just wasn't in Slapshot. He lived Slapshot. Took his comic books on the road.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're on the road. I'm staying at Mom's Thursday night, and I so want to take a picture and show you guys the wrestlers. But I know as soon as I go into that closet and pull out the suitcases, I'm going to get that. You need to take those with you.
You should.
No.
Yes.
I have no room for them. And my wife will literally they'll be on the front step, and the Diabetes Association, whoever picks up stuff, will take them away.
I was going to say, at least Mom kept them, because I had a lot of trading cards that my parents discarded during a move. And,
bad parents. Bad mom and dad.
That purple Macho Man t-shirt, which I know you can buy these days out there, that was probably one of the t-shirts in my life that I wore out. Like, just wore it so much.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Yeah. That was a
You
hint.
can wear it to the Christmas party with a blazer, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
What a great time to be alive back then.
Arash, do the Jays make a move for more pitching or more bats?
Pitching.
Pitching?
Look, at some point, presumably it's the 24th of July, you're going to get Anthony Santander back, a power hitter that they gave $90, $100 million to. At some point, Dalton Varsho is going to come back. They're getting real production, Sharky, at the plate from under-the-radar dudes.
Who's Barger before this year? Yeah.
That's it. Bam Bam Barger, right?
He was the Saturday morning wrestler that would face Hulk Hogan.
I just don't think that you can count on Max Scherzer right now through the end of September, and I think you need to add another bullpen piece. So I think it's arms before bats with a week to go before the deadline.
Like it.
All right, buddy. Let's catch up next week. That was a long one. Thanks for the wrestling talk.
You got it. See you, boys.
Right on.
Okay.
Coast to Coast with Arash Madani for Brian Gawley. Smart investing solutions. Let's have a quick sports ticker, Colson. Let's have a quick...
What?
We get. That's okay. It's okay. We're gonna do the sports ticker right now. Colson's just getting it ready.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
On the O-line tomorrow for our Riders, Noah Zaire is going to start. Zach Fry is out. The Elks are starting Cody Fajardo at quarterback. 7 p.m. kickoff tonight. The league week 8 starts. Montreal is in Calgary. 5 former members of Canada's 218 World Junior team acquitted on all charges today in a closely watched sexual assault trial. Western Canadian Baseball League, Regina's in Lethbridge. Medicine Hat's in Moose Jaw. Swift Current is in Saskatoon. Provincial Senior Golf at the Chinook and Swift Current. Regina's Kim Walker leads on the women's side. Rick Hallberg from Kenosha and Brad Phelps from Holiday Park in Saskatoon are battling on the men's side. And the Blue Jays starting about right now, taking on the Detroit Tigers. Don't miss the latest news from Riderville with the SportsCage Insider Report. Sign up today by clicking on Insider Report at sportscage.com, and you got a chance to win some Rough Rider tickets. It is a SportsCage, streaming at sportscage.com, and that was for Regina Steelcraft Doors. 40,000 square foot warehouse is open. If you need a garage door, they have it. We'll be right back at 620 CKRM. Could talk wrestling, man.
I noticed. Man, oh man.
I loved
there's
wrestling.
There's fans, and then there's you.
Loved it in the 80s. Ran it hard. Fully committed to wrestling. What? Some of the listeners, Prairie Land Rentals text line, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. Go tell him you talked wrestling on the Sports Cage. Also, they sell Husqvarna.
I'll bet you he knows his wrestling.
Yeah, he's from the demo.
Yeah,
he's from the demo. But totally honest though, once that 93, 92 once that hit, like when Arash talked about when Hogan went to the heel side.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Like I remember hearing about it, and I watched that Jim McMahon documentary on Netflix.
Yep.
A little while ago. It is so good, and it goes back. And that guy was an absolute sleaze and dumpster fire, but it was business, and it was all for him in the business. Which I don't fault.
No, you can't fault him because it was his business in lots of ways, right? So
he took a lot of people on side deal. It was, but yeah, Hulk Hogan died at 71. If you're just tuning in,
it was the entertainment business.
Keep the text coming.
Yeah,
some of these names
sleazy.
People are sending in. This is just great stuff. King Kong Bundy, Ted's boy.
Ted's boy.
He was. He had
flagged.
He had an absolute battle with Hogan at one point. I remember that might have been one of the Saturday Night main events. Maybe it was early WrestleMania, because WrestleMania 3 is with Andre the Giant.
The memory you have for this stuff is mind blowing.
You don't remember any of it?
No. Like, what happened? What did your wife wear this morning when she left the house?
What? Hey, WrestleMania 2. Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy. I was right.
Where was it at?
It was at 3 different places. This is the one they go into in the documentary. Uniondale, New York, Rosemont, Illinois, and Los Angeles, California. So, Veterans Memorial.
What's Rosemont, Illinois?
Outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
Who else? It was... oh, yes. And the other... Oh, Rash.
The undercard. The undercard was...
Mr. T versus Rowdy Piper. Rowdy Piper.
Who won? Gotta be Piper.
I don't remember.
Gotta be Piper.
Mr. T. It was a boxing match.
Come on.
And Rowdy Piper trained, and it was it's so good. Wrestling. Riders Elks tomorrow. If any of you see me at the game and you want to talk wrestling, let's get after it. So much fun.
Mr. T won, by the way.
Did he?
Yeah. By disqualification.
You should be the fact check guy.
I found this Google thing. It's cool.
But tomorrow, Zach Fry will not be playing. Noah Zare is in. Coach Mace telling us what happened to Zach Fry.
Yeah, man, tough situation. Zach ended up being in a motor vehicle accident earlier in the week. He got checked out at the hospital and here, and all the things were good. We were cleared, and then like most things do with some injuries to the head, at practice, it wasn't feeling exactly what it should. So again, we're not going to play around with that kind of stuff. And then again, same thing. Next guy, we know what that is here, specifically at that position. So everybody's always ready. So, he'll be fine. I'm sure. It's just, you don't want to risk that.
Says he'll be fine.
Yep.
Our offensive line, we're all a little bit protective of it.
If there's anything I'm not worried about, it's our offensive line. We seem able to find just about anybody to play there at an extremely good level. Doesn't matter how many times they practice. So, yeah, loving it.
Mace, on thoughts of Noah Zare getting the start.
Yeah, incredible, man. Obviously, he's our biggest offensive lineman, homegrown product, which we love that, you know what I mean? But, just from how things went for him in camp and then, coming back, again, similar to Mario Anderson, when we had to make that decision, those are hard, right? Because we still think highly of these guys. Easy for him to come back, seamless transition getting back. And just waiting for his opportunities. He's been on the roster up and down. He started some games for us last year, so it's not like he's fresh. He's never done it before. Excited for his opportunity. I know it means a lot to him to put this helmet on. So what an opportunity for him to go out there and play with some conviction.
Coach Mace. Dre McRae had a good game last week.
Yeah. You know what? There wasn't a bad part about the Riders' last game. There wasn't. You couldn't pick out a guy, an event, play.
Well, the unfortunate Kadeem Carey injury would be the only down.
I mean, that's an injury that's different, but there wasn't where you went, we got to really clean this up. There wasn't a spot there that you went, no, this isn't going to work. Everybody played very, very well.
We will hear from Dre McCray when we come back. It is the Sports Cage. Thanks so much for everyone who's participating on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. We are streaming also at sportscage.com. The British, I loved the British Bulldogs.
Man.
And I was like, was their dog named Matilda? Looked it up.
And it's a British Bulldog.
And you saw me celebrate that. That's where I am in my life. I'm celebrating that I remembered the British Bulldog's dog was Matilda. What a wild ride.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for letting me talk wrestling today. Everybody involved.
Everybody that put up with it? Yeah.
Because Maz and Alan talk wrestling, but they talk like current wrestling. No sniff.
Don't get a clue. Nope.
Don't. But we go back to the 80s, early 90s like we did all day today. What a trip down memory lane. With the unfortunate death of Hulk Hogan at 71, also known as Thunder Lips for you Rocky fans. Terry Bollea was his real name. Man, Saturday night's main event. Eat your vitamins, say your prayers. The Hulk Hogan training.
You know, what better advice could a guy like Hulk Hogan give? Eat your vitamins, say your prayers.
And if we couldn't play it because we'll get flagged. That's why we couldn't do it when Arash was on. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you got to take a stand. It don't help to hide. If you hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride. I gotta lend a hand. It don't help to hide. I am a real American. I fight for the right of every man. I am a real American. I fight for what's right. Fight for your life. That was the tune. I'm going to listen to it on the way home.
You're very sentimental today. Very verklempt.
That was awesome. Riders, Elks, tomorrow I'm back for an hour only. It'll be a fun show. But before we go, let's hear from our return man. Heck of a game in his debut last week. Dre McCray with Dave Thomas.
Dre, your first CFL experience in Vancouver 1 week ago. What were your takeaways from that game?
I think it went well. Glad we came out with the W. Just learn from it, get better, whatever it may be. And whatever I was doing well, just keep doing it.
Take me inside your preparation for that game and maybe even that first kick that's coming your way with the sun in your eyes. Explain it.
Just trusting your training. You've been there before, just understanding, hey, like, this is another game. You've been there before. Trusting your training, the work that you put in throughout the week, just trusting that.
Mario Alford is a guy that's been helping you out throughout the week. What has the veteran experience that he's had rubbed off on you with?
Oh, man, he's been great. Just little tips here and there. Just, hey, look for this if you see this, and Coach Ken has been doing a good job as well.
Well, Mario at one point said to me, there's a lot of instinct that goes into where you're at, anticipating where you might see a player or a block end up. Is that true?
Yes. I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, it's a lot like playing running back.
So tell me about the experience in the CFL, because you knew about the league from a previous coach before you came to Saskatchewan. Explain.
My coach, Kez McCorvey, played here years ago, but and he's my mentor. He's one of my good friends and good mentors. So just knowing about the league and then ending up here.
What did he tell you about the league?
He said he think I'll do well. Just come up here, work, and just stay down and be prepared for whenever my opportunity comes.
Did he undersell or oversell the experience?
I think he was probably spot on. Just be ready for whatever, and that it would be a little bit different at first.
Now, back in his day, he was a heck of an athlete. So as a mentor, what has he given to you?
He's my wide receiver trainer, my offensive coordinator in high school. But more than that, he's been a mentor as a man, shaping me into who I am today just over the past few years. He's been a big help in that aspect as well.
Tell me what it's like being a Saskatchewan Rough Rider and having an opportunity now to play a home game.
Man, it's exciting. Just to be out here for the regular season in front of these fans, it's exciting.
Well, it's going to be a fun game here. We appreciate your time and all the best.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.